Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin. Today I'm actually going to be showing you 3 extremely interactions, or I guess flow of execution for your Cyber Dragon Trap deck. Optimize your gameplay, maximize your win rate, of course, by doing the correct moves, maybe by deck building better, because obviously there are some cards that you're actually going to have to play in order to take full advantage of these plays. So before you start, of course, man, friendly reminder to like and subscribe, because you already know it makes your boy happy. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So let's just say your opponent has a pretty weak monster on the field already, and he draws to something like Harpy's Feather Duster that he didn't really had the ability to use before, and you have a bunch of traps including a Dragma Punishment. Did you know that there is a way you can counter the Duster now? And yes, it is actually pretty simple too. You're not going to negate the card, so it's even better. Even if he has like Lightning Storm and he has 2 Lightning Storms, you're going to be able to pretty much play around or through 2 Lightning Storms just with 1 single card. So you're going to target that very weak monster, and you're going to try to destroy it with Dragma Punishment, and you're going to send this card, Paleozoic Cambro Raster, from your extra deck to the graveyard. So it has 1200 attack, and Punishment would have to target a monster with 1200 attack or less, and in this situation, Dark Infant and Ignister has 500, and also the yellow Ignister, the Picari, shoutouts to Pikachu, also has 1200, so in other words, regardless of what your opponent would have had done, you would have been able to actually target that for your punishment. Now, a really tempting thing would have been to Contact Fuse in case your opponent just went like Dark Infant Pass, but the really crucial thing here is to make sure that your opponent has a card on the field, a monster, because of many reasons. First of all, it turns off Evenly and Lightning Storm, because Lightning Storm can only be used while you control no face-up card, and Evenly, well, of course, as a hand trap, quote-unquote, as a battle hand trap, you can only use it from your hand when you have absolutely no cards on your field, and the Duster is the one card that you really can't do much about. So unless you have like Anti-Spell, Imperial Order, Solemn Judgment, it's hard to counter Harpy's Feather Duster, but fortunately, Dragma Punishment, sending Paleozoic Cambro Raster is one way to do it, because when your opponent is actually trying to destroy all your cards, you can simply banish it from your graveyard, protect yourself from destruction, and then whatever, your opponent does some stuff, it's all good in the hood, because now your trap cards are still there, and you can actually interrupt your opponent. So absolutely beautiful. Let's get into the second one. All right, so this is going to be a really interesting one. As you can see, I have literally nothing. I only have 2 Crackdown. My opponent even has some interruptions, so Called by the Grave, Merkaba, Fleur de Lis, and then Ecclesia. So obviously I'm late behind, and I'm even really low on life points. I'm only at 35, and I still have to take damage from Merkaba and Ecclesia, but look at how we can turn the tide of events completely thanks to a brand new card from Lightning Overdrive. Is absolutely fantastic. So he's going to try to absorb attacker directly. We're just going to steal all of his monsters, of course, with Crackdown, and then he's going to pass turn because he has nothing. That's just, of course, hypothetically speaking, you know, and obviously practical Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything would have been completely different, but I'm just showing you how you can take advantage of this kind of situation, you know, theoretically. So yeah, now you're going to have 2 monsters, including at least 1 light monster, and you can already kind of predict what's going to happen next. You're going to make Lina the Light Charmer. Now, I'm going to clarify a bunch of things. First of all, let's just say your opponent didn't attack with the Fleur de Lis first. You actually would have been able to steal the Fleur de Lis and also steal the Merkaba, and then link both of them together, and then your opponent would have been left with an Ecclesia, but it wouldn't have been optimal for us because we really want our opponent to end their turn with the strongest monster, because it would have been nice if, you know, that Lina could actually crash. Ironically, Lina crashing is broken, and you're going to see why soon enough. But don't worry, because it's not the only broken thing that Lina can do. Of course not. I mean, of course not. Did you know that you can actually search punishment even if you don't play a single copy of Ecclesia? Because Lina is a monster reborn for our opponent's graveyard, and they have the Ecclesia on top of having Merkaba. So you can either steal a negate or steal a monster that searches you a huge interruption, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So Lina is going to summon back Ecclesia, we're going to search for punishment, but don't worry, this is absolutely nothing. Now we can actually get a Cyber Dragon engine going even through Called by the Grave or Imperm, Forbidden Drop, all of that, because now we can actually crash. This triggers during the damage step, and Called by the Grave doesn't actually negate the activation of a card or change the stats of a monster on the field. Therefore, Called by the Grave is completely unusable during the damage step, meaning that it is not a way to negate Lina. And at this point, the Lina would be able to search a light monster from your deck with 1500 or less defense. My guy, which monster in Cyber Dragon just coincidentally happens to have 1500 defense and just happens to be a really good card? I mean, I feel like it's obvious, but it's your boy, Cyber Dragon Core, and now you go normal, effect, search overflow, because you're skillful at the game, and you are able to turn a really disadvantageous situation into, all of a sudden, you're actually doing very well, and your opponent is down to only 2 cards, and he's under pressure. So really, really awesome. Let's get into the third and final interaction. Alright, so this is going to be relevant. Right now it isn't because we're using cards, well, I mean, we're going to use a card that is in the structure deck. I believe it's end of July, something like that. I forgot. I know in the OCG it's going to be exactly May 15th, but for us, I kind of already forgot. But anyways, just with a hand like this, you can actually kill your opponent through punishment, imperm, and a face down monster. So let's get right into it. You're going to go claw and then search for that Horizon, and now you might be like thinking, well, I still don't see how you can push through 2 back row. This is insane. And of course, Horizon will send you the Hurts for cost. Remember that it is a cost, so even if they ashed your Horizon, at least you get to send the Hurts and then search Cyber Dragon. I wish it didn't say 2 monsters with different attributes. If they just said like 2 Cyber or like Cyber Dark, whatever, it would have been so much better. You would have been able to send Hurts and Core, so even if it gets ashed, you go Hurts, recycle back Core. But hey, I don't know why Konami is just obsessed with making cards way too fair for no reason. But anyways, man, let's try to ignore that fact for now. You're going to be sending Cyber Eternity Dragon, ironically, believe it or not, from your extra deck to the graveyard. This is one of the only cards that truly does something for Cyber Dragons in the graveyard, and also one of the only targets with Horizon anyways. And this card, you can banish it, and for the remainder of the turn, any fusion monster, even the ones that you haven't summoned yet, they will not be able to be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card's effect. So when you make the Rampage to destroy everything, whether your opponent has punishment, imperm, stuff like that, it doesn't matter, man. You can't do anything about it. Like, yeah, sure, you can strike me, but that doesn't really do that much for you because you still have to waste your strike and my monster still stays on the field, so I can still use the secondary effect to mill 2, get 2 extra attacks, and that's going to be enough to kill you. So yeah. Now, of course, Hurts is going to search for Cyber Dragon. We can special summon that, whatever, whether you use Eternity's effect before or after you summon Cyber Dragon doesn't really matter, but as long as it is before the Overload Fusion, because otherwise your Rampage would actually get hurt, and that's obviously not something that we're trying to go for, so yeah. Now we're going to, of course, get rid of these 2 back row. If you actually wanted to go for even more popping, you could have actually searched the Core instead of Nexter, and then go normal Core, search Cyberload, and then Cyberload shuffle 2 into another Rampage, but you know, you don't have to. So just with Nexter, you're going to be able to do a pretty nice job as well. And now, yeah, whatever, you can search, you can send for Core and Cyber Dragon, and on the normal summon, Nexter is going to revive back from the graveyard, and then we're going to be able to make a Seeger, and you already know it, man. 12,600 damage through a face-down monster. Your opponent could have had 2 monsters on the field, and it wouldn't have mattered. Boom, boom, you are dead, my friend. Absolutely magnificent, gorgeous, man. Cyber Dragon's best deck. If you disagree with me, you're doing something wrong, or maybe I'm just doing something really right, so anyways, that's all I had to say and showcase for this Cyber Dragon interaction, flow of execution video tips, I guess you can say. If you guys are down for more, please let me know, because I would actually be I would love to make more videos like that. I mean, I really do like Cyber Dragons, and I feel like it just has so much untapped potential. Obviously, I have been experimenting with the deck for so many years, but I have never really made too many videos on the matter, and I know Triff makes literally just a dedicated Pendulum channel, but I didn't really make that for Cyber Dragons because I really wanted to kind of appeal, or I guess just have a wider variety of potential subscribers instead of just people who would appreciate me for my Pendulum content, or I guess in this case Cyber Dragon content, or I guess my personality, because I still feel like I have to work on that. I don't think I'm at the top, but yeah. Anyways, that's really all I had to say, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!